Must never heard of his name. His name Asim ibn Thabit. Have you ever heard of him? Asim ibn Thabit. So, during the battle of, right before the battle of Uhud, Quraysh really, they were boiling. They wanted revenge from the Muslim after the big loss of the battle of Badr. So they lost probably every leader in the community, their youth, young ones. I mean, the top or the elite of the Quraysh, they were killed in the battle of Badr. So now Quraysh been preparing for almost like 2 years, or a year and a half, preparing to revenge from Mecca. They want to do whatever it takes, done. They were humiliated, they were mocked up, and this was something big deal to them. Because no one expected for Quraysh to lose the battle with a few hundred Muslims. They were defeated, they ran away from Mecca, they were some slaves, and the servants, and they were workers, and they were like whatever, but to lose the battle with Quraysh, with them, this was too much for them. So, even when they went there, they took even the women with them, their women, their wives, their mothers, to encourage them. And the women, they were making nasheed and singing, encouraging the men to revenge and so on. Until, subhanAllah, they stood even right behind the army. Said, listen, if you steadfast in the battle, then we're with you, we support you, we're your wife, your sisters, and mothers. Other than that, we have nothing to do with you, subhanAllah. Then, of course, the Muslims, but we don't want to go into the details about the battle. They lost the battle of Uhud, the Muslims, and was a lot of Muslims, they were killed and injured. Even Rasulullah himself was injured. And was about 70 Sahabah killed in the battle of Badr and the battle of Uhud, and top of them was Hamza radiallahu anhu, the Prophet's uncle. And the women there, they were Muslim, they were shattered all over. And the battlefield was no Muslims there for a second. And then, subhanAllah, the women there going there through the deceased, see who got killed. They were happy to see Hamza killed and the others, because Hamza killed a lot of the leaders of Quraysh at that time. And one of the ladies was there, of course, was Hind bint Utbah, Abu Sufyan's wife, and others. A lady was her name Sulafa bint Sa'ad. And this lady, subhanAllah, all the women, they were celebrating. All the women, they were celebrating, except for this woman. She was a little worried. She was looking for her husband and 3 children. 3 children and the husband, subhanAllah. Then she was checking around, waiting for them to come. Then, subhanAllah, she couldn't wait anymore. Then she went looking through the deceased, the dead bodies there. Then she found her husband dead. Then she was, my wife found her husband dead. She was screaming and so on. And she started looking for her 3 sons. One of them was Musafi' wa Kilab wa Julas. 3 of her children. Musafi' wa Kilab wa Julas. Then, subhanAllah, she was looking all over. She almost certain they got killed too. Then she found them all, 2 of them, Musafi' and Kilab, they were already dead. Then, subhanAllah, she was looking for the other son, Julas. And she found a place, he's still alive, her son. That's her name, Sulafa bint Sa'ad. And she started cleaning him up and so on, but she could tell this is a dead injury, so there's no hope. And she told him, who did it? Who did it? He couldn't talk. Said, who did it? Then he told her, subhanAllah, she mentioned, Asim ibn Thabit have killed my brother and killed Musafi', and he was going to say about the second one. He couldn't talk, and he died before he told who was the one. She figured was Asim Thabit, the one who killed the 3 of her children, subhanAllah. She went crazy, subhanAllah. She was screaming, wailing, and so on. And she said, by the Lat and the Uzza. This is the biggest oath they make. Lat, the biggest idol, and the Uzza, those the biggest 2 idols. So there's no way to give up before she revenged from Asim Thabit. And she gave like a reward for the one who killed him and bring his head to her. Imagine. SubhanAllah, she would give him anything, any amount of money he asked for. She was a rich woman. So Quraysh, subhanAllah, that news was spread among Quraysh, and each one of the shabab, the youth, they want to do it for her, so they get the money, subhanAllah. The Muslims, they went back to Medina, and they, subhanAllah, they made dua for the deceased, the shuhada. And subhanAllah, then they said, some of us really, they did a good job. One of them was Asim Thabit. He did very good job on the battlefield, subhanAllah. And he was the one who killed the three brothers, subhanAllah. I said, how did you do that? You were able to do that, subhanAllah? So subhanAllah, he said, remember, when Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam have asked us before the battle of Badr, he said, how do you fight? He said, we fight with the bow and arrow. If not, if closer, we got the spear. If they're closer, we go with the sword. So we don't give up. If they're too far, with the bow and arrow. If they're closer, with the spear. If they're closer, if they're that broken, we go with the sword. So we don't give up. So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, this is the way to fight. So don't give up. Whatever you have, you fight with, subhanAllah. See, من قاتل فليقاتل كما يقاتل عاصم. If you want to fight, fight like Asim, subhanAllah. SubhanAllah, within a few, a short period of time, after Uhud, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he have sent a group of people, about 6 of them, with the Sahabah, and they were under the leadership of Asim ibn Thabit. They left for a mission or expedition. So then, subhanAllah, when they were on the way between Usfan, and Mecca, there's a tribe called Hudayl. They found out there is some group of people, 6 people, they're up to something, they didn't know. So they surrounded them. Hudayl, a huge tribe. Then, subhanAllah, Asim got his sword out right away. He said, we fight him. So the tribe Hudayl said, really, you have no choice. No chance. You surrender yourself, really, we're not going to harm you. Because look at how many of us. Probably 100, 200 against 6. You have 0 chance to win the battle. SubhanAllah. And he said, by the Lord of the Kaaba, now, we're never going to harm you, SubhanAllah. And we give you every promise in the world, we're not going to harm you. So the Sahaba, they were thinking now, what do you think? So 3 of them, Asim, of course, ibn Thabit, he said, listen, I'm not going to be under the prisoner for those mushrikeen. I'm not going to like a hostage. So I'm going to fight. So 2 of them, they supported Asim. The other 3, so 3 against 3. So he fight. Asim decided to fight with the 2. And subhanAllah, they fought, and subhanAllah, and before he started fighting, he said, oh Allah, protect me against the mushrikeen. When I'm dead, make sure they do not take my body. Because he knows his body wanted for Sulafa. Right? She wants his head. Said, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ihmi lahmi, protect my flesh and my bones from the mushrikeen. SubhanAllah. So they fought, subhanAllah, till they were killed, the 3 of them. And the other 3, the one who surrendered themselves, they took them, and of course they broke their promise to the Hudayl tribe, and they killed them too. And in the beginning, they didn't know was Asim one of them. They just thought, this, they call them highway robbers. So anyone comes, they take him and kill him or whatever. Or they find out from which tribe, so they take money for that, like a ransom. But when they found out Asim was one of them, they became so happy, subhanAllah. And because they want to get the prize from Sulafa. And subhanAllah, and Sulafa, she was willing to anything. Bring him to me, life or death, that doesn't matter. And subhanAllah, when Quraysh found out, they sent bags of money to Hudayl, to the tribe. Give us the body of Asim. So he said, no problem. So went there, subhanAllah, to see the bodies. They got close, they found out the body of Asim surrounded with honeybees and yellow jackets. So there's no one was able to get close. Then every time they come close, they get stung in their eyes and their faces, subhanAllah. Protected. He made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So then they said, you know what, they gave up. They got stung so bad. So he said, at night time, those yellow jacks and honeybees, they go away. Usually, they go somewhere else. So then they waited, subhanAllah. Then about Maghrib time, said, then the sky was full of clouds. And then started raining. The rain never experienced in their life. Never experienced in their life. They never saw such rain. SubhanAllah. Then they waited in the morning. SubhanAllah, they were looking for the body of Asim. There's nowhere to be found, SubhanAllah. look all over the place, they couldn't find. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected him against the kuffar of being taken to that lady. And as Allah said, وَلَمْ يَجْعَلْ لِلْمُشْرِكِينَ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ سَبِيلًا, which roughly means. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never make the mushrikeen